Hello everybody, welcome to today's video, and today we are trying a 2-horse tack leather mule bridle. Alright, we got the bright idea to try to convert this into a bitless, and instead of using this as where you would put the bit, we just put a little ring on it to see if it would actually work. Yes, I do this stuff so you don't have to, but I was actually kind of curious. The thing about this is when you pull, because this is not fixed in any way, this is going to change. So if you wanted to actually use this, we could probably put a different nose piece on this really easily that we could have connected to these two. But, you know, hey, okay, we're going to try it as it is. All right, we just have a bareback pad on him, and remember, the first thing we're going to ask him is to flex. And there we go, nice. So again, all we do is ask for just a little bit of pressure. There we go. Okay, so what you do on one side, you do on the other. So we're just gonna ask him to give to that pressure. Very good. So really, he's extremely light, and even though this really isn't, this does have a chance to move, which ultimately I think we're going to do something about that before we go any further, because I don't want that moving up into his eye, but I do like it right there. So we decided to test out the 2-horse tack. It's a mule converter bridle, and we decided to put rings on it to make it bitless. Now obviously this probably would work better if we just actually put separate pieces in it. You can see from right there. That means that we would have a separate curb and then a separate nose strap instead of just using one continuous loop. The problem is you get a little bit of slippage up and down and sideways on the cheek pieces here. So in order to counter that, this is obviously not what I'm talking about, but I'm going to go ahead and go through some testing, and kind of I already have a conclusion, but I'm going to go through and test, and I'm going to show you what I mean. All right, so first thing we want to do is get the horse to flex, reach up and ask, and he flexes really nice on either side anyway. He kind of gives to all kinds of pressure. Now, if your horse is having a little bit of problems with the flexing, and especially when you're trying out different stuff, what you're going to do is when you ask them to flex, you're just going to squeeze your fingers a little bit. So it's going to be squeeze, 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 and then release. So you're going to drop your rein a little bit. Now I'm going to do it over here on this side so you can see a little bit better. All right, well, we're going to reach forward, and we're just going to squeeze, squeeze, intermittent pressure, intermittent pressure, intermittent pressure, until he finally gives. So that's how he's figuring out how this particular side pull is working. Now he's behaving really, really, really well off of that, even though it's totally doing what it's not meant to do. But the flex test is our first test. Now, of course, I would say the ultimate test of a flex is a spiral down to a 1-rein stop. And that's something you should be doing with all your horses anyway, to make sure that they're not stiff and that you're nice and safe. So you're going to walk a circle, walk a circle, walk a circle. You're going to say whoa, and flex, and stop. Now your horse should stop when you say whoa, and flex. But if they don't, then you wait until your horse stops, and then you wait for the release. Okay, let's do that again, a little bit more closely. Again, we're going to flex down to a 1-rein stop, making sure that they're using that inside rein. And as soon as he flexes, we release. What you do on one side, you do on the other. So flexing down to a 1-rein stop, always a good way to go. It's a great way to start a horse on these exercises too. Make sure you have control, make sure you have respect. And whoa, and flex, release. Good boy. And let's walk off. A little bit of outside leg, outside leg. Walk in a circle, walk in a circle. He knows I'm gonna do it. And woo, and flex. Good boy. So we know he's gonna basically respond to a bit. Now, the next question we wanna ask, will he actually give when we back to it? So we're gonna back off the seat, but I also wanna put a little pressure. I'm gonna squeeze and release, squeeze and release, squeeze it, there we go. See how that nose came in? That means he ultimately did give to pressure. Good boy, squeeze and release, squeeze and release. Good boy. So he is responding to this off of his nose really well. Kind of impressed actually. I didn't really expect it to be as good, but again, let's stop. Ooh. And back until he gives his nose. Back, back, little squeeze, back, and good. Ultimately, I didn't have to use any pressure, and amazingly enough, our little invention did work pretty good, but we're gonna come back in and definitely put an actual nose piece or. So thank you so much for joining me on today's video, and if you enjoyed the video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and remember, if you want to see more, check out our playlists.